Hi, my name is Ben Owens. I am an open way learning consultant, author, and prior to that, I was a 20-year career engineer for DuPont in locations across the country. And then I spent 11 years teaching physics and math in rural Appalachia, here in the mountains of rural North Carolina. Um, what is something that I'm passionate about? I would say blurring the lines between what's happening in our schools in the traditional sense and what is happening in the real world. To me, there's no reason why students can't begin doing work that mirrors what I did as an engineer, even, or what other people out in the communities are doing routinely. We just have to change our mindset and our paradigm to allow them to do that. What's an area of expertise? I would say open way learning, which is a process that we were able to develop at the school that I taught for 11 years. And that was through some intense collaboration that we were doing, the free sharing of ideas and knowledge that led to really localized innovations where we were able to do what I mentioned before and blur the lines so that our students were constantly engaged with folks in the community and working on things that they truly cared about. And then our job as teachers was to ensure that the curricular things that we were expected to teach were embedded in that process. So they learned by doing and in a really project-based, competency-based environment where learning just happened naturally because the students were passionate about that. So to me, that's the way any school should operate. And unfortunately, that's a rare thing these days. So we need to change that. Let's see, a challenge would be the institutionalized inertia of the status quo. That is also exacerbated by our national obsession with test prep. So we've got to change that, and that's why I'm excited to, frankly, we'll work with anywhere I can go to find the fissures where we can affect the change to move that system of education we have in this country that's very resilient to change. And that's why I call it, as a physics teacher, surprise, surprise, institutionalized inertia. So that's why I'm delighted to be associated with the Yellow Hats League, because this looks like an entity that's really excited about making that change occur, which is, I'm skipping a question, but I'll go ahead and answer that one. Why do I want to be a member? So I can learn from people who are out there really pushing the envelope, really at the spearhead of affecting the types of change that we need to get students to be our focus again, and not the bureaucratic minutia that tends to take priority these days. And then in this process, amplify the really cool things that are happening in pockets around the country so that we can scale them and get more students really affected by the types of education we need to be doing. Now go back to the core value. Although it's hard to give up love as a core value, I would say being an engineer, the perpetual beta is just something that's sort of baked in my DNA. What can I do today that's different than what I did yesterday? And this constant improvement, constant thinking about what can I do to bring better solutions to the table for, in this field, obviously, for students and meet their individual needs, not as a whole, but each individual one. What can I do differently to affect the growth path and change the trajectory for each child? And I think that's the final question. Oh, other than, can you share this video? Yes, please do, and hopefully I'll get some good feedback on it and get a chance to look at others. Thanks. Cheers.